Hi, my name is Ngugi Simon, a data engineer, and on today's video, we're going to be looking at getting started in data engineering in 2025. So basically, data engineering is, I would simply refer it as the process of getting the data to the serving. So it will involve the data engineering lifecycle with things like integration with systems and transformation until analytics for visualizations. Yeah, and so how do we get started in this? So there are so many roadmaps currently. Yeah, so you can get in myroadmap.io, you can get it on ChatGPT, you can get it on Google. Yeah, and so mine is one way that I find it, you get it easier and you understand the concepts faster and you understand them better. Yeah, rather than hopping into everything all at once and you find yourself at the end that you have really learned nothing. And so I'll give my background, my story. So when I was starting out, I really did not have a roadmap. I really did not know what to learn, and so I got my hands dirty on anything that was accessible. Yeah, so if I got to do SQL during the day, I would get to do Python maybe in the afternoon, and maybe do some visualizations at night. And so I was learning too much but grasping too little. Yeah, and so it took me a longer time to do away with these tools, or to learn and probably master the tools. It took me a longer time, and the retention was lower. Yeah, and so learning one tool at a go is beneficial to you. Yeah, and so something that I would also advise is learn the fundamentals and not the tools, because the tools that were in 2020 are not being learned today. Hadoop was being learned before, now right now is Spark, and there are some companies and some engines moving towards Flink. Yeah, so don't learn the tool, learn the fundamentals. But the fundamentals, because that is distributed processing in Hadoop, is what is being run down in Spark and in Flink. Yeah, and so I would like to touch on some few fundamentals that you will aim to learn. Yeah, and I will also tell you on where to learn them at the end of the video, so keep in touch till the end. Yes, and so some of the fundamentals that I learn, we have the dimensional modeling. Yeah, so dimensional modeling, this involves modeling up to 3 normal form, up to the 3rd normal form. This is the required standard industry practice. Yeah, so that involves the star schema and the snowflake schema that will also be done, and I've also done a video on that topic in this channel, so you can head right and watch and learn from that video. The other one is the data engineering life cycle. So there's a life cycle that is followed through from the integration to the serving of the data. So what are the stages and what are the best tools to use in the life cycle? Yeah, so the other one is the SQL versus NoSQL. So you have the SQL versus NoSQL databases. Yeah, when to use each with according to the type of data. The type of data will guide you and dictate the type of database that you're going to use. In SQL, you have the structured data. In the NoSQL, you have the unstructured data. Yeah, so the other one is the ETL versus the ELT. Yeah, so the modern data stack, the ELT. So we have the extract, load, transform. So we transform data in the data warehouse, and the traditional one is the ETL, where we get the data, we transform it and load the transformed data. Yeah, so the other one is the real-time versus the batch processing. So the real-time, we have tools like Kafka and Flink for processing. The batch, we have the Spark that does that. Yeah, so the other one is the OLAP versus the OLTP databases. So the OLAP is for the analytics, the OLTP is for transactional or the processing. Yeah, so when do you use either, depending on the type of data. Yeah, the other one is data warehousing and data generation, from getting data from APIs to storing them, so the entire life cycle. The other one, and the other concept that I would like us to look at, is the cloud. So we have the AWS versus the Azure versus the GCP. So for me, currently the market is shifting towards Azure. So if you haven't started with any cloud provider, so Azure is, I would highly recommend that. Yeah, so a good way to look at these requirements is the job description, the JD. You can get the JD on LinkedIn after a role has been posted, and you can see the tools that they are using, or the frameworks, or the roles that you'll be doing. It's a good way also to create a roadmap for yourself. Yeah, and so tools that we'll be looking at, or tools that you have to get started with, the first one is SQL. Yeah, SQL is the English of data engineering. So it basically dictates everything that does. Yeah, you do data transformation from data analytics, even with SQL. Yeah, and so things to learn: SQL is basic to advanced SQL, and don't forget the group, the CTEs, the subqueries. Yeah, and also the window functions. Yeah, very crucial in learning for data engineering, or preparing for data engineering. Yeah, so I've also done some videos on SQL in this channel. You can check them out. The other one is Python, and Python, you're going to be learning some things, and the first one is data structures and algorithms. So working with lists, working with tuples, working with all data structures, and also algorithms. You have the linear search, binary search, and the big O notation. Yeah, it's good to work with to understand how they work. Sometimes when dealing with data and dealing with optimization of data pipelines, you're going to invoke some knowledge of working with algorithms. The other one is working with orchestration tools. So it's how we create DAGs for Airflow, working with also Airflow. Yeah, but basically Airflow, we'll have to control the DAGs using Python. Yeah, and so that is one thing that you're going to get ready with. The other one is interacting with APIs. Yeah, so it's getting data from APIs. You can get data from APIs and stream them to a database or an S3 bucket. Yeah, so the processing. So how do you handle data in with NumPy, with Pandas? So data, you see, from an API, you can get it in JSON format, but you really don't need to work with unstructured data, and you can transform the data from JSON to a CSV file, yeah, before you load it. So that's also one thing that you can look at. Yeah, so the other one is the other one, you can look at distributed computing. Yeah, distributed computing, we have Spark. Yeah, so how do you work with Spark? So Spark, there has an API. It had the RDDs, yeah, but now it has moved to the dataset. Yeah, so RDDs are long gone. Yeah, but now they're using the dataset API to work on big data and to transform data. Yeah, really basically that of that. Yeah, you can look at Spark and the interaction with Flink, how they work, the two of them. But Spark, I would highly recommend it to Flink. Yeah, because it's easier to learn and write the code. Yeah, and basically does much of everything that Flink does. Yeah, so basically with that, you can get started in 2025 in data engineering. Yeah, so all the best this year. If you are looking for a place to learn more, you can follow a page on LinkedIn, Data Community. Also, you can follow me on LinkedIn on Simon Ngugi. Yeah, I share educational content, and I will continue to make more videos like this. Soon we are going to be started with DBT. Yeah, so I'll be making an entire course on DBT, on everything that you need to learn. So keep tight, and watch and learn. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. So thank you.